If you have ever looked at your bank account the day before payday and wondered where all your hard work went, you are definitely not alone. It is that bizarre cycle where you feel like a wealthy executive on Friday morning, only to realize by Tuesday that you are simply funding a rescue mission for your checking account. Today, we are going to talk about why living paycheck to paycheck is the default state for millions of intelligent people, and more importantly, how we can actually escape it. Living paycheck to paycheck means your entire income is immediately spent on your living expenses, leaving absolutely nothing left over for savings or emergencies. You should care about this because running on financial fumes causes a massive amount of hidden stress that quietly ruins your sleep, your health, and your decisions. Think about the last time you bought groceries and felt a slight wave of panic at the cash register when the total popped up. That is not just a math problem, it is a human problem that keeps us trapped in a loop of constant worry. The wild part is that this does not just happen to people who don't make enough money. It turns out that some of the highest paid professionals in the country are dealing with the exact same panic. Let's take a look at why making more money rarely solves this problem on its own. There is a common belief that if we all just got a big promotion or a massive raise, our money problems would vanish into thin air. On paper, this makes perfect sense, but reality has a very funny way of correcting our math. A shocking number of people earning over $100,000 a year still find themselves waiting anxiously for their next direct deposit. This happens because of a sneaky psychological trap called lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep is the gradual increase of your spending as your income grows, where things that used to be luxuries slowly become absolute necessities. Think of it like buying a bigger car because you got a raise, only to realize the insurance, gas, and maintenance are now eating up every single extra dollar you earned. Suddenly, you are working harder than ever, but your bank account looks exactly the same as it did when you were making half as much. It's like running on a treadmill that automatically speeds up every time you try to get ahead. You're moving faster, sweating more, but you're still standing in the exact same spot. The real danger here is that we don't even realize we're doing it. We buy a slightly nicer coffee, upgrade our apartment, subscribe to a couple more streaming services, and wonder why the math is not working out. It turns out that humans are incredibly good at adapting to comfort, but terrible at cutting back once we get used to it. This is why a higher salary often just builds a bigger golden cage. If we want to break the cycle, we have to understand the modern traps that are specifically designed to keep us broke. Money used to be physical, meaning you had to actually hand over hard paper cash to buy things. If you wanted to buy a new jacket, you had to physically count out 5 $20 bills and watch them leave your hands. That physical handoff created a tiny moment of pain in your brain that made you pause and think. Today, that pain has been completely engineered out of our lives. We live in an era of frictionless spending, where buying things requires nothing more than a tap of your phone or a single click of a button. Frictionless spending is the modern design of commerce that removes all physical and mental effort from the act of buying something. You don't even have to look at your wallet anymore. You just glance at your screen and suddenly you own a new pair of shoes. This is incredibly convenient for shopping, but it is an absolute disaster for your budget. It makes spending money feel fake, while the consequences remain extremely real. Consider how easy it is to sign up for a subscription service that costs $15 a month. It feels like nothing at the time because $15 is just the price of a quick lunch. But when you stack 10 of those subscriptions together, you are quietly bleeding $150 every single month without even realizing it. These small automatic leaks are the primary reason your paycheck seems to evaporate into thin air. We are not making bad financial decisions because we're stupid. We're making them because modern systems are designed to make spending effortless. Let's look at how this constant outflow of cash leaves us completely exposed when life inevitably goes wrong. When you are living paycheck to paycheck, your entire financial life is balanced on a razor-thin wire. Everything is completely fine as long as nothing goes wrong, but we all know that life does not work that way. Eventually, the check engine light comes on, the water heater bursts, or you have an unexpected trip to the dentist. In finance, we call these unpredictable but inevitable costs emergencies. An emergency is an urgent, unplanned expense that you must pay immediately to keep your life running smoothly. If you have no savings, a simple $500 car repair is not just an inconvenience, it is a full-blown crisis. Because you don't have the cash sitting in a bank account, you are forced to rely on high-interest credit cards to cover the bill. Credit cards are financial tools that let you borrow money instantly, but they charge you a massive fee called interest if you don't pay them back quickly. Now you don't just have to pay for the car repair, you also have to pay the credit card company a monthly fee just for lending you the money. This extra monthly payment makes your next paycheck even tighter, leaving you with even less money for the next month. It's a vicious cycle where a single bad day can trap you in debt for years.
This is why having even a small cash buffer is so critical for your mental health. It turns an emergency into a minor annoyance instead of a financial disaster. But building that buffer feels almost impossible when you're already struggling to pay your basic rent. Let's talk about the psychological toll of this constant struggle and how it actually changes the way your brain works. Living with no financial cushion does something very strange to the human brain. Psychologists have found that when people are constantly worrying about money, their cognitive capacity actually drops significantly. Cognitive capacity is your brain's ability to solve problems, make logical decisions, and resist short-term temptations. When you're stressed about paying rent, your brain is so busy running survival calculations that you simply don't have the energy to think long-term. It's like trying to run a complex computer program while your laptop is overheating and running out of battery. This explains why people who are broke sometimes make decisions that look incredibly reckless to outsiders. You might buy a fast food meal instead of cooking, or splurge on a small comfort item even when you can't afford it. To someone looking at a spreadsheet, this looks like bad planning. In reality, it's just a tired, stressed-out human brain seeking a tiny drop of happiness to survive a difficult day. It is a completely natural human response, but it keeps us firmly locked in the paycheck-to-paycheck loop. To break out, we have to stop relying on pure willpower, because willpower is the first thing that fails when we are tired. Instead, we need to change the actual rules of the game we're playing. We need a system that works even when we are too exhausted to think. The traditional way we manage money is simple. We get paid, we pay our bills, we spend some money on fun, and we save whatever is left over. This sounds perfectly logical, but it almost never works because there's rarely anything left over. Our spending naturally expands to fill whatever space we give it. To fix this, we have to completely flip the order of operations. Instead of saving what is left after spending, we must spend what is left after saving. This concept is widely known as paying yourself first. Paying yourself first is the habit of automatically routing a portion of your income into savings the absolute second you get paid, before you pay any other bills. Even if you start with just $10 or $20 per paycheck, the key is to make the process completely automatic. You want to set up your bank account so that this money moves into a separate savings account before you even have a chance to see it. If you never see the money in your checking account, your brain quickly adapts and you learn to live on the rest. It's a simple psychological trick that turns our natural laziness into a massive financial advantage. Over time, that tiny drip of savings builds a protective wall between you and the chaos of the world. When you finally have $1,000 sitting in a savings account, the entire world starts to look a little bit friendlier. You stop worrying about every minor bump in the road because you know you have a cushion to catch you. It takes time, patience, and some minor adjustments, but the freedom of not panicking on Thursday night is worth every single effort. Remember, the goal is not to become a billionaire overnight. It's just to buy Paycheckers in mind. This is educational info, not formal financial advice, so make sure to do what works best for your personal situation. Take a deep breath, automate that first tiny saving, and let's get through this crazy world of money together.